Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy Nixie coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial today on the channel. Let's jump right into this music. Today I want to show you guys how to use the saturation knob to spice up and juice up your tracks. So let's go ahead and listen to this mix right here. I'm gonna drop the link to the artist down below. Let's not waste no time. Let's go.
Your mouth just shopping in Milan. Bitch got her pieces, designer thesis, income increases, sweet baby Jesus. Supercar keyless, feet off the meters. 100 racks on clothes, they say it's needless. Find a designer, catch me in my lineup. Handcraft attire, one single buyer, never one prior. Pressure applier, give me none less than best, that's on my soul. That Fendi too cold, watch rose gold. Buy and hold out, no it can't be sold. Fly across the world just to get it if it's worth it. Designer said he aimed to get it damn near luxury purchase. Yeah, cause he earned it, pay for the service, crafted with purpose. Yeah, I put Busky on MixLikeNix, cruising my Tesla through North.
Okay, so you guys get the main idea. And if you guys do like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also check out the Patreon where we have live exclusive gen dropping tutorials. So the Softube saturation knob, it's a free plugin and I love it. Sometimes I think about saturation on my mix bus in a way of throwback and new school, old school, new school. So a lot of the times when people are looking for like a little bit of tone through saturation, they might go through to a throwback analog model type of plugin or whatever, like a Neve or something like that, where they know just by running through it, just by letting it go through the door of that type of, you know, item or that type of plugin, it will give a certain sound. So how I like to see it is, you know, I like to add new ingredients, new flavors, you know what I mean? The Softube saturation knob is like a situation where I've got a new recipe, you know, I'm running a kitchen, I'm running a restaurant, and they're like, oh, hey, have you heard about that new dish, that new spice, that new seasoning? So that's why sometimes I don't like to use the old analog model plugins too much in my mixes, because maybe that's not the sound that I'm necessarily going for. I always ask myself, is that the sound that I'm going for, that old kind of grainy sound, or am I going for that new age, new wave, kind of like, you know, really hard, really teeth greedy, just a little bit of dollop of jalapeno distortion type of sound? Okay, so I love to use the Softube saturation knob because it takes the mid-range, you know, all the way in the back, all the way in the back, all the way in the back, and it pulls it forward. So you'll hear, you know, bringing this in and out. It kind of helps the vocal kind of come a little bit forward, as well as now you start to hear the delay, the echo, and all that stuff a little bit better.
Your mouth just shopping in Milan. Bitch got her pieces, designer thesis, income increases, sweet baby Jesus. Supercar keyless, feet off the meters. 100 racks on clothes, they say it's needless. Find a designer, catch me in my lineup. Handcraft attire, one single buyer, never one prior. Pressure applier, give me none less than best, that's on my soul. That Fendi too cold, watch rose gold. Buy and hold out, no it can't be sold. Fly across the world just to get it if it's worth it. Designer said he aimed to get it damn near luxury purchase. Yeah, cause he earned it, pay for the service, crafted with purpose. Yeah, I put Busky on MixLikeNix, cruising my Tesla through Northern.
So sometimes you can use saturation as the actual positioning of your mix, like where the things at in the mix. I think that's pretty important when you don't have the stems, because sometimes you're like, I love how that main melody sounds, but it sounds like it's just too far back. My vocal sounds like it's up front, but just all of the instruments and everything just sounds like they're pushed too far back. They sound like they've been exiled. It sounds like they've been tossed out of the club. They sound like they've been put away, put to shame, you know, and you kind of want to be proud about that melody that's in that 2-track. So you want to bring it up. You want to let it have a spot in the car show, the showcase of the song, right? So that's why I like to use something like saturation to bring it forward. Also, I might use something like an Oxford inflator. It kind of has the same effect too. You know, just pay attention real quick how, you know, it brings the vocal forward. Understanding that saturation also can help you remold, you know, like Play-Doh, the mid-range of your mix.
Just shopping in Milan. Bitch got her pieces, designer thesis, income increases, sweet baby Jesus. Supercar keyless, feet off the meters. 100 racks on clothes, they say it's needless. Find a designer, catch me in my lineup. Handcraft attire, one single buyer, never one prior. Pressure applier, give me none less than best, that's on my soul. That Fendi too cold, watch rose gold. Buy and hold out, no it can't be sold. Fly
So people always talk about serial compression, but a new concept that I like to do, I want you guys to try out, is serial saturation. Maybe you want to use 3 different type of analog model plugins or whatever distortion plugins that are going to do a different job. This one right here, the Shadow Hills, I'm using it to boost that booty, to help out that 808 and kick, boost that booty. That's what I'm using because it got the transformer, which gives it a lot of that weight, a lot of that prime rib, you know, type of cut to the music, you know, pretty much. So I use this one to give a little beef to the kick in the 808. I use this one to kind of help pull the vocal forward, and I use this one to help pull the melody and the music forward. So yeah, that's kind of a new concept I want you guys to try out. You know, try out to use more than one saturator. You know, make sure that you're not doing too much of one. You don't want to make sure that you over season in the pot. You don't want to overdo your song. Okay, so after that, I want to show you guys how I like to use saturation and automation. How you can use saturation to paint a new picture, paint a new scene, you know, inside of the music. So what I like to do is I like to use automation. I like to take the saturation one knob, and I kind of by you know, putting it at certain spots, it kind of really emphasized the delay throws and stuff like that. So I want you guys to pay attention to how when she's rapping, it's really like in the pocket, you know, but then when the delay throws come through, I use the saturation to enhance the reverb to open the lid. You guys are going to see right now exactly what I'm talking about. Listen to the delay throw. Listen to the height of delay throw. You know, listen to how it kind of sounds like a cabinet, a closet that's closing and opening between her rapping and between these ad-libs. So let's check it out real quick. And I'm automating these, all right? Let's go.
This white dude run it, do ran it, ran. I can't pronounce the shit worth a damn. Strip handcraft Italian. Your mouth just shopping in Milan. Bitch got our pieces, designer thesis, income increases. We baby Jesus, supercar keyless, feet off the meters. 100 racks on clothes, they say it's needless. Find a designer, cashmere in my liner. Handcraft attire, one single buyer, never one prior. Pressure applier, give me nothing less than best, that's on my soul. That Fendi too cold, watch rose gold. Buy and hold out, no it can't be sold. Fly across the world just to get it if it's worth it. Designer said he aimed to get it damn near luxury purchase. Yeah, cause he earned it, pay for the service, crafted with purpose. Yeah, I put Busky at excellent art. Cruising my Tesla through Northern.
So that shit really get to sounding like a turtle that's popping out of its shell. You know, one moment it sounded like, you know, the verse, that's how I'm getting them. I'm telling them what's high and what's low. You know what I mean? So now they really understand that that vocal is really sitting inside the pocket because they know how high the ceiling of the mix is. So I used saturation to do that. And it's kind of a situation where I had a Tory Lanez reverb going on, you know, that hairy reverb, but it only gave a little bit of the frill, you know, like to the hair of the vocal, you know what I mean? Just a little bit of frill, just a little bit of fuzziness, like it's hot outside. Give a little frill to the hair of the vocal. I think the high end when it comes to doing the Tory Lanez reverb is pretty important, you know, like if you want to have an extended high end, it's going to kind of give the perception of more of the frills, you know, a little bit more of that texture that helps people identify reverb in a mix. Okay. And then after that, you know, just bringing the saturation knob in and out. And I want you guys to hear what it sounds like without it, then I'm gonna play with it. You know, it's kind of like the scene doesn't change so much. You know, I'm a painter. I'm doing the painting right in front of the listener, but I still want to switch it up on them. I want to show them, oh, this is a lake, but look at this next picture right here. You know, give them a whole new type of swag, and I'm using the automation on the saturation knob to do that. So I'm just gonna bypass it. I'm gonna do an inactivate, and then I'm gonna bring it back and activate it, and just pay attention to how it sounds like, woo, it sounds like a peacock or a flower starting to bloom. You know what I mean?
That's on my soul. That Fendi too cold, watch rose gold. Buy and hold out, no it can't be sold. Fly across the world just to get it if it's worth it. Designer said he aimed to get it damn near luxury purchase. Yeah, cause he earned it, pay for the service, crafted with purpose. Yeah, I put Busky at excellent art. Cruising my Tesla through Northern Lombardy. Shopping, that's on my soul. That Fendi too cold, watch rose gold. Buy and hold out, never one prior. Pressure applier, give me nothing less than best, that's on my soul. That Fendi too cold, watch rose gold. Buy and hold out, no it can't be sold. Fly across the world just to get it if it's worth it. Designer said he aimed to get it damn near luxury purchase. Yeah, cause he earned it, pay for the service, crafted with purpose. Yeah, I put Busky at excellent art. Cruising my Tesla through Northern Lombardy. Shopping in Milan, earned it, pay for the service, crafted with purpose. Yeah, I put Busky at excellent art. Cruising Time to say the aim to get it done. Yeah, cause he earned it. Pay for the service. Crafted with purpose. Yeah, I put Busky an excellent art.
So you hear how the saturation just comes in there and adds a lot of excitement. It kind of builds a little bit of suspense for the hook that's coming back up. You know what I mean? So something like that, giving them that extra amount of, you know, the flowers spreading out, the roses, the petals opening up a little bit. It's better because, you know, as an engineer, it makes you feel like you're a narrator. It feels like you're telling a story through the way you're mixing. So that's why, you know, doing something like saturation and automation is pretty important, but that's a different thing, you know? Some people do reverb throws, do delay throws, but you can also do saturation throws. Maybe you want to just really, you know, get greedy with the vocal on the verse only and saturate just the verse so it sounds really tough and really aggressive. But then you have the hook, you know, without the saturation. Maybe you want to bypass it during then, you know, take the plugin off then and then have it sounding very squeaky clean. So now you're giving them a little contrast, dirt clean. You know what I mean? So this was a great time giving you guys this video today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also check out the Patreon if you guys enjoy. Appreciate you guys now.